Coming up next on the 8 o'clock news, more charges dropped in the McMartin molestation case.
Those counts are dismissed.
3 Southland raids net more than 1.5 tons of cocaine. The boyfriend of John Wayne's daughter talks about the attack they suffered last week, and the presidential candidates get ready for tomorrow night's debate. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Lawrence.
And I'm Lonnie Lardner. All that and the latest on the Dodgers-Mets showdown next up on the 8 o'clock news.
Silly costumes, sight gags, and some serious singing. You'll see it all this week on the Hollywood Squares.
Weeknights at 8:30. Lonnie Lardner, Tom Lawrence, Scott St. James, Andrew Amador, Russ Nichols. LA's first primetime news, the 8 o'clock news.
Good evening. It is do or die, the big one, no tomorrow, and any other appropriate sports cliches you can think of.
Especially it's not over till it's over. The Dodgers-Mets battling right now at Chavez Ravine. The winner goes to the World Series. The loser goes home. Scott St. James here with an update on the game. It's hot.
It is hot. Dodgers getting very, very close to going to the World Series, folks. That's what these are, World Series tickets. And of course, you'll have a chance to win these if the Dodgers do, in fact, go. The scoring started off with a tremendous sacrifice fly by Kirk Gibson in the first inning with runners on second and third. It was almost a 3-run homer. That made the score 1-0. Then, thanks to a couple of errors in the second inning, a key bunt by Alfredo Griffin, and a ringing base hit by Steve Sachs, the Dodgers scored 5 runs in the second inning. They are now in the bottom of the 8th inning. Oral Hershiser still pitching 6-0 in favor of the Dodgers. They are 3 outs away. We'll have more for you about 20 minutes from now.
Right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Scott. There is other news today. Tom, I think you have the next story.
There were 3 major drug busts in Southern California. They netted more than $500 million worth of cocaine. Federal and local authorities announced they've seized more than 3,300 pounds of coke, more than a third of it found aboard a turboprop aircraft at Chino Airport. The plane flew in from Mexico and was tracked by a new radar center in Riverside. In Los Angeles, police seized 2 vans allegedly packed with more than 600 pounds of cocaine. Police say the vans were fitted with false bottoms to conceal the drugs. And in Irwindale, more than 1,500 pounds of cocaine seized in that city's largest drug bust ever.
Okay, in politics, voters never got a chance to actually see Michael Dukakis or George Bush in person today, but the two were available for photo opportunities as they prepared for tomorrow night's debate. Michael Dukakis played catch with his press secretary and stayed with the baseball theme in discussing the debate. Dukakis predicted victory, saying he'll deliver a fastball, a curve, a slider, and maybe a knuckler. For his part, George Bush jogged 3 miles today with a group of UCLA students. Earlier, he met with LA Police Chief Daryl Gates for an unofficial endorsement, and Bush had this comment about the upcoming debate tomorrow.
You can't say today that he's mainstream when he's been on the left-hand spectrum of the American political process. So I have to continue to make these comparisons.
Meanwhile, the final preparations are underway at Pauley Pavilion, where the 2 candidates will square off tomorrow night. Early tomorrow, the Bush and Dukakis camps will tour that facility.
They each do about an hour walkthrough with their aides. They look at the facilities, they look at the dressing rooms or the green rooms that have been set aside for them. They talk to staff and get a feel of the stage, as I understand it.
Now, the latest polls, Gallup, Harris, and ABC News, show George Bush with a substantial lead in the race for the all-important Electoral College votes, but leading only narrowly in the popular vote. Still to come on the 8 o'clock news, more charges are dismissed in the McMartin molestation case.
Also still ahead, the boyfriend of John Wayne's daughter talks about the brutal beating the couple endured last week. And our series on LA singles continues as experts offer advice on how to avoid looking for love in all the wrong places. Stay with us.
I love him dearly, but sometimes he is just so out there. Yesterday, I asked him to stop at Thrifty on the way home and get some Oscal 500. See, I figure if I take a calcium supplement now, I won't look like a rocking chair when I'm 65. So, I write it down on a little note. Oscal 500 milligram and Oscal 500 plus D, bottle of 60 for $4.79 at Thrifty. And then he goes off and leaves the note. Boy, sometimes he is such a cadet.
Well, when Steve's father died, we really didn't know what to do. Neither one of us had ever handled estate matters and things like that. And
when it comes to finances, I'm definitely no whiz.
It was a difficult situation at best.
The Honoratos relied on home savings, America's largest savings and loan, to help them manage their money.
That peace of mind that they offered us and continue to offer us has been invaluable.
All kinds of people live in the lush Sacramento Valley. People like Terrell Knight of Willows, Baldemar Castillo-Romero of Sacramento, Kenneth Lim of Yuba City. For generations, they've worked the land and reaped its harvests, including the finest rice in California. Some say anywhere. The rice is Hinodi, grown by families like these, for families like yours.
It's the dawning of another damaging day. Ultraviolet light is everywhere, a major cause of skin's premature aging. Now, from Elizabeth Arden comes Immunage UV Defense Cream. Advanced moisture, SPF 15 sun protection. Your skin looks luminous, protected. The age of Immunage has arrived from Elizabeth Arden. Beauty choices, yours with any $10 Elizabeth Arden purchase at May Company.
More charges have been dropped against the 2 remaining defendants in the McMartin preschool molestation case. Channel 9's Les Kumagai says the dismissed counts represent 1/3 of the case.
For a year and a half, Raymond Buckey has entered this courtroom, joining his mother, Peggy McMartin Buckey, to face a combined 100 counts of child molestation. But because 3 of the alleged child victims are now refusing to testify, the district attorney's office is dismissing 35 counts, a full 1/3 of the charges.
Basically, what we did is something that was very simple, which many prosecutors do in many cases, and that is we conformed the pleading to what was actually proven during the course of the prosecution's case.
But what the prosecution is calling a fairly routine move, the defense sees as an act of face-saving desperation.
They filed an amended complaint with 35 less counts than that round 100 they brought to this courtroom a year and a half ago. It's apparently a face-saving device, but it looks like major plastic surgery is going on.
Rubin believes the changes won't damage the DA's case in the eyes of the jury. But Davis feels otherwise and is trying to get at least 3 more alleged victims out of the case, claiming the statute of limitations has already run out for those charges. In Los Angeles, Les Kumagai, Channel 9 News.
A Los Angeles pornographer tried in absentia was sentenced today to 8 years in prison by a federal judge. Gary Levinson was ultimately captured at LAX after he was convicted. Evidence at the trial allegedly showed that Levinson used the mail to distribute obscene videotape featuring bestiality, incest, rape, and sadomasochism. U.S. District Judge Laughlin Waters said Levinson was pandering to a segment of society that is sick. In addition to his 8 years, Levinson must pay a $150,000 fine and be placed on 5 years of probation. Levinson had asked to be spared any jail time, saying he fears for his life.
And at a press conference in Newport Beach today, financier Roger Luby offered a $100,000 reward for help in tracking down 2 men who attacked him and Aissa Wayne. Wayne is the 32-year-old daughter of the late actor John Wayne. The couple was tied up and beaten in the garage of Luby's Newport Beach home October 3rd. Luby, who declared bankruptcy last year, said that friends and business associates put up the reward money, and he went on to say he had no idea why that attack occurred.
I've never had a warning, a phone call, post, during, or pre the incident.
Wayne and Luby have been involved in separate divorce proceedings, with Wayne said to be particularly messy. Lonnie.
Tom, if you're single, I know you're not, but if you are, and you wonder why meaningful relationships have eluded you, tonight Linda Edwards talks with some people who has some suggestions for dating success and how to live and date in L.A.
Another Saturday night that I ain't got nobody.
41% of adults are single, and many would prefer not to be. For years, they've been hoping to share their lives with someone special, but somehow haven't found that person. Bob Bedell gives classes designed to help people find romance.
People are so ridiculously picky. Again, they're going about their relationship choosing in the same way they go about a job search. we've had this last 10 years, business has affected our thinking to the point, that's why there is no romance, is people get together and they read each other's Dun & Bradstreets to one another. I mean, it's like, okay, they've got this, this, and this, but this is missing, so I guess I can't like them.
Some of these ladies in Southern California are real tough.
Thomas Hodges calls himself the love doctor. He claims to be the first man in 6,000 years who understands women. His classes are for men only.
So how can a guy tell when a girl's not interested?
Okay, you call a lady twice, and she doesn't counteroffer, and she says, keep in touch, talk to you next week, love to hear from you. That means you're out. Forget it. Adios. Move on to a new adventure. They don't say no.
The love doctor is full of suggestions.
Don't talk about other women. Don't talk about sex. When the waitress leans over, don't look at her chest. Open the car door. Show me a little class, show me a little manners, and be a good listener.
If just plain meeting people is the problem, there are clubs for singles. The Yes Network charges about $12 an event. Yes stands for Young Executive Singles, and people are encouraged to make business as well as social contacts.
We kind of promote everybody to exchange business cards and meet at a later date, have lunch.
We're walking around here sort of like a high school dance, and the men are looking at women and the women are looking at men, and there's still a lot of, I think, a fear of approach.
Singles say that the mating game is at best confused and at worst a battleground. Next time, the two sides call a temporary truce and get together for a singles summit. I'm Linda Edwards, Channel 9 News.
Make it sound like international diplomacy. All they want is a nice date. Russ Nichols joins us when the 8 o'clock news continues.
Well, tonight, Russ looks at movie stunts and what might be done to make them safer. Stay tuned for that.
A meter long-distance copier, or fax machine, can reach out and send a copy to someone in just 15 seconds. Meter, or we make our great copiers. Call 1-800-ABC-METER.
When I heard Vons was taking over Safeway, I got a little nervous, a little shaky. But Bill DeVilla said we were some of the best meat cutters in the business, and he didn't want to lose us. Smart guy. Now I'm cutting a higher grade of beef, USDA choice. Doesn't get much better than that. You know, a little change every so often keeps you young.
Try a higher grade of beef at your new Vons and say hello to some old friends.
Nobody else but Vons.
This is a machine designed to keep you on time. And this is what makes it tick. People. Working together with clock-like precision, each dedicated to keeping you on schedule. Time after time after time. American Airlines, the on-time machine.
Growing up in Seoul, my friends and I would go off to a special lake where the sun danced on the water and the fish couldn't wait to be caught. Now that I live in America, I'm meeting new people and catching new fish. But still I go back from time to time to the place where the sun danced for my friends and me.
Who says you can't go home again? Go ahead, reach out and touch someone.
Top of the ninth, 2 outs. Dodgers ready for an Oakland-LA World Series. Let's go live to Linda Edwards. The fans are going crazy at Tommy Lasorda's restaurant in Marina Del Rey. Linda, can you hear us?
Tom, what an exciting night for Dodgers fans, and what an exciting group of people here tonight. They're throwing confetti on me and everybody else, and they've been screaming for hours, so I'm going to try to scream over top of them. Hundreds of fans have been crowding around the many TV sets here at Tommy Lasorda's restaurant and bar in Marina Del Rey. The Dodgers fans have been having a fabulous time as their team adds up the runs. Now, Lasorda's doesn't refuse service to Mets fans, so they're here too, or they may have gone home by now. But mostly hoping for a comeback that it looks like we are not going to see. But celebration is already in the air, and of course, fans hope that the Lasorda legend himself will be by here later tonight to celebrate. Right now, I'm going to talk to a Dodgers fan right now. What do you think of this game?
Well, you know, last night with a couple outs to go, we were really concerned. But we had Oro going tonight. Our pitching has been our strength all year long. And we're really pleased. We came through, and we're convinced we can beat Oakland. Canseco, the whole power team from Oakland, is formidable, but our pitching will bring us through, and the heritage of the Dodgers will win. We're convinced. Thank you.
And then we also have a Mets fan here who is willing to talk to me. What did you think about tonight's game? Has it been sad to watch this?
Yeah, you know, after the second inning, the game was over, so I wish it had been closer through the game. I thought they were going to come out after last night. They were really tough last night, but it just wasn't in the cards. It's in L.A., so you know, that's the way it goes. Sad day in New York. Sad day.
Thanks for talking to me, Patrick. And we had to get both sides, didn't we? Anyway, we'll go back to you, Tom and Lonnie.
Okay, Linda, thanks. Somehow I think they were celebrating after the second inning.
Yeah, that's all they needed. 2 innings, the last 7 were just a waste, but it's almost over.
It's exciting. Well, tonight, consumer reporter Russ Nichols takes a look at movie accidents and how they might be prevented.
He interviews a former studio mechanic who recently won a lawsuit against one of the big studios.
Right, tough act to follow there, isn't it? Well, this mechanic we're talking about, who was not a stuntman, by the way, was involved in a 1983 shoot of the TV series The Fall Guy. A Jeep was rigged to do a flip, and instead it went out of control.
Hit me in the back, threw me forward, went around, came and hit the associate director, and then ran over me again.
McCleary suffered internal injuries, broken ribs, loss of feeling below the waist.
Cal OSHA investigated this case, and Cal OSHA decided that there were serious violations by 20th Century Fox, and so it imposed a fine. The fine was $150.
McCleary contends the accident could have been prevented with installation of a switch to kill the engine.
They said we didn't have time for that.
McCleary's lawyer, Jerry Kroll, says this explosion scene in Invasion USA resulted in serious injuries for the stuntman, yet it was left in the movie.
Right now you can go out and watch films that you can rent in your home video store that actually contain real injuries that are left in the film.
Kroll is trying to get legislation passed to ban the use of film in which people have been hurt.
The industry is set up so that if they make these pictures and these stunts as fast as possible, cram everything that they can into it, get it out to the public, that's the more money they make.
Kroll believes Cal OSHA should be restored by approval of Prop 97 and then reformed.
Cal OSHA had some problems, and what the Fall Guy case highlighted was that Cal OSHA was weak when it came to penalties. And I say if we bring back Cal OSHA, what we need to do is we need to put teeth in it. If there is a violation, you must impose a stiff fine or penalty. What you also should do is make the offender pay for the cost of the investigation.
Now, Kroll argues that a revitalized Cal OSHA could pay for itself and be more effective, not only on movie sets but elsewhere, if it were authorized to hit corporate safety violators hard in the wallet. There are those who will argue that would simply drive movie production elsewhere, the same argument that they use against the idea to ban the use of film in which real injuries have happened.
You don't mind if we give you a little bulletin at this point?
Bulletin, please.
Dodgers just won.
All right.
6-zip. World Series begins Saturday. That is good news. And back in the news again, Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple Computer, today unveiled his latest venture. Jobs sold his interest in Apple 3 years ago, you might recall. Now he's come up with a high-powered computer for the ordinary person, he says. It's called the Next Computer and says it's the wave of the future.
What are computers going to look like in 5 years? This is the first one. And we work with the people that probably push computers the hardest in the whole world, and that's higher education. We've worked together for the last 3 years, and they've really defined this computer for us.
Now, that Next Computer is not ready for market at this point, and it's expected to cost between $7,000 and $10,000, which is not exactly ordinary.
Yeah, not for the everyday computer user like us. Well, we're going to talk to our weatherman. A great day for the Dodgers, so a great day for all of us.
Looks like good World Series weather coming up. Very nice. Fall for us, but in Southern California, doesn't make much of a difference. Sunny days ahead. You stick with us for all the details.
Well, I got too many tickets and an accident too. Won't somebody tell me what I ought to do? Can't get car insurance and it just ain't right. My baby won't go out on a Saturday night. Keep trying to win, but I'm about to lose. Got to be a cure for the insurance blues. Hey there, baby, have you heard the news? FGS has a cure for the insurance blues.
At Glendale Federal, we've got a 54-year track record of growth and success. And now we're building on that success with the introduction of Checking Plus. A checking account package that's backed with superior service, including instant access to thousands of ATMs and our handy phone information hotline. Checking Plus from Glendale Federal. When you say jump, we say how high.
Prepare for takeoff, Captain. Power on. There. She ignites in the wink of me eye. Clean and efficient, too, she is. And she does not cost you a fortune to run. Why, there's nothing in the universe as bonny as a new generation gas range. Is that not right, Captain? Power your crew with new energy-efficient gas appliances.
Life a bear? Then hop off to Australia on this week's Great Escape. Relax on the world's only floating hotel and dive down under the Great Barrier Reef. Then enjoy Southern comfort in Charleston, South Carolina, or lay back to the Latin beat in Ixtapa, Mexico. Relax this week with The Great Escape, your television travel section.
Sunday at 10 p.m. nowhere else but Channel 9. Andrew Amador's Weather Report is being brought to you by Coco's new bakery restaurants, now featuring their special prime rib dinner, and by Holland America Line. At Holland America Line, we never forget whose vacation it is.
So you...
Now, don't all talk at once.
We're a team. We work together.
I see that.
Yeah. We,
zipping up.
It doesn't matter. Hell, we're just, we want to talk about weather forecast. We're going to do here where it's sunny and warm, and Oakland where it's cold and windy and gray.
As a matter of fact, there is a big storm moving into Northern California, and by the weekend, there could be some serious rain in Northern California, so that's something that we should look to. But here in Southern California, the southern part of the state, things look quite nice. Let's check out those stats at 8 and see where we are tonight, if we can, and show you the numbers. Yes, indeed. Temperature 65, relative humidity is 40%, the pressure is rising, winds out of the west. 76 for the high this afternoon, our morning minimum 64. And let's look at the local picture tonight if we can. And here it is, the combination of a coastal eddy over Southern California today and a major storm, the first significant storm of the season moving into the Pacific Northwest, combined to bring us some very cool weather today and more intensified night-morning low clouds. Now this storm, as it moves in by maybe tomorrow night, could bring some significant rain to Northern California, perhaps an inch, so we will watch this storm. Meanwhile, for us, pleasant weather over the next few days. The national picture, a nice day around the country, a few showers over the Intermountain West, but the big news is the cold weather for the eastern third of the country. A blustery day today will be followed by an incredibly cold morning for many areas. Snow over the Appalachians today, sections of New York and Pennsylvania. Quite busy indeed. The local forecast then tonight, it's those late night low clouds extending into the valleys after about midnight. Tomorrow, not too bad. Sunny and a little breezy, high of about 75. Now, here is your specific temperature tomorrow. But first, how about the lotto numbers? Always a good idea on Wednesday. The jackpot over $11 million, and the winning numbers 11, 28, 32, 35, 37, 38, and the bonus is 1. How about that 5-day forecast with the information for the next few days? Well, here it is. Fall temperatures for us over the next few days with increasing night and morning low cloudiness and some warming, however, by the weekend. All in all, not bad. But again, a big storm moves into Northern California, so that could affect the series somewhat. We'll be checking into that one to be sure.
Okay, speaking of that series, 6-zip. Yes, the series starts on Saturday.
Isn't that great? It's about time. Been 7 years. Scott's up next. He's going to tell us how they did it and what they're going to do next.
Coco's is now baking up freshness every day. Fresh from the oven. Incredibly delicious pies.
Coco's baking fresh and I like it like that.
Plus muffins, cornbread, cookies, and more. To eat here or take home. And right now, you can enjoy Coco's complete prime rib dinner for just $7.95. But try to leave a little room for dessert.
Coco's is the place and I like it like that. Come on.
It seems like Richard's really starting to have a good time.
Yeah. He didn't think he was going to, but he's really getting into it. At first this was my idea, then it was our idea.
Now the idea's all his. That's right, something like that.
The joy of doing what you want, the art of going your own way. Come, discover them aboard the ocean liners of Holland America Line.
The Scott St. James Sports Report is brought to you by your authorized Southern California Mercedes-Benz dealers, like no other dealers in the world.
Mercedes-Benz. So precisely engineered, it is comparable to the supersonic Concorde. And so handsomely designed, it echoes the elegance of the QE2. Now, thanks to our world-class test drive sweepstakes, you just might win one of 8 world-class trips for 2 to Europe on British Airways Supersonic Concorde. Visit the Mercedes-Benz European Delivery Center in West Germany and return on the elegant QE2. The world-class test drive sweepstakes, only at a participating authorized Southern California Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Is your blood pumping? Are you psyched? Are you ready?
Hey, you know, I come in walking that way now, so I'm walking heart attack. Winner take all. That's the scene at Dodger Stadium as the Dodgers and Mets played one game to determine who would play Oakland in the World Series. The Dodgers touched up Mets starter Ron Darling in the first inning. Steve Sachs led off with a single, who doubled over to third, but was doubled over to third rather by Mickey Hatcher. Scored on Kirk Gibson's almost 3-run homer. That made it 1-0 LA. But that rally was minor compared to the one in the second. With 2 on and no outs, Alfredo Griffin tried to bunt him over, wound up on first. That was just a horrible play by the Mets. You got it, nobody's got it. Bases loaded. Mets continued their sloppy play. Oral Hershiser's easy chopper, muffed by the Mets rookie third baseman Greg Jeffries. Mike Scioscia scored, and it was 2-0. Next batter, Steve Sachs, perhaps the key hit of the ball game. A shot. That scores Jeff Hamilton and Alfredo Griffin. Darling exits the game, having retired just 3 batters, and that made it 4-0. The Mets brought in Dwight Gooden, and then with the bases full again, Mike Marshall grounded to second. Kevin Elster tried to avoid the hard sliding Gibson. He did so, but also dropped the high throw. Everybody's safe. Hershiser scored. Dodger Stadium rocking. L.A. sent 11 men to the plate in the third, scoring 5 times. The Mets offense, meanwhile, couldn't muster anything early on against Hershiser. In the third, Oral extinguished any New York hope for a run by doubling up Hernandez. Oral looked determined to pitch the Dodgers into the World Series. Then, in the ninth, Oral completed the Dodgers' dream series by getting Howard Johnson on strikes, a masterful 5-hitter by the probable Cy Young winner, and a joyous scene on the field. Oral down in prayer just for a second. You got to get up, big guy. They're about to trample you. Say your prayers later, son. We'll switch live to Dodger Stadium during our next hour as we look at the final right there. They're in the World Series, folks. Interesting early season hockey matchup at the Forum tonight. The 3-0 LA Kings are playing the 3-0 Boston Bruins. No score in the first. An update at 9. Other NHL games. Hartford over the Rangers. Buffalo beat Pittsburgh. Quebec nipped Montreal. Other games. St. Louis topped Toronto. Chicago figures to win that game over Winnipeg. Vancouver beating Edmonton 4-1 in the second. Finally, the LA Lakers are practicing in Hawaii these days, and their owner, Jerry Buss, is with them. Instead of the world champions making news, it is the good doctor who has everyone's attention now, as he has let it be known during the last couple of days that he is one transaction away from having the necessary money to make a serious offer to buy the Rams or Padres if they become available, or to buy a team that apparently is available, the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the doctor is from Wyoming, so he'd be at home in boots and a 10-gallon hat. And we'll have more on the Dodgers during our next hour.
Okay, exciting times.
Yes.
Time now to go to Wendy Gordon up in the newsroom to see what they're working on for the 9 o'clock news. Wendy.
Boy, Tom and Lonnie, it's so exciting, isn't it? Scott's going to be back, of course, at 9 with more on the big Dodger win. He'll be talking with the players and, of course, the fans. Donald Trump has agreed to buy Eastern Shuttle. We'll show you how to avoid long court battles over inheritance. Sandy talks with Shirley MacLaine. She's got a new movie out. And we will tell you what cities are the least and which are the most stressful to live in. Tom and Lonnie, what do you think about L.A.?
We like LA.
Yeah. Wait till you see the
Yeah,
list.
especially tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for us. Go Dodgers. Tom and Wendy back at 9. Good night, everybody.